All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's going to be our last lesson, not only for measurement and for the week, but it's actually going to be our last Unit 6 lesson. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually take our metric system and customary measurements, we're going to put them together. We're going to talk about converting from back and forth from one another. It's pretty easy if you were successful the last 2 days. We just have some new conversion factors that we're going to be using, and we just have 3 examples we're going to do together. So let's go ahead and take a look. So our lesson for today is 6.7, which is converting between systems. Our learning target is I can convert customary metric measurements using proportions. So again, we're going to set up proportions, which means we want to make sure that they stay nice and neat and organized. So I have a huge list here. No, I do not expect you to memorize these. Absolutely not do you need to memorize these. Use this as your resource if you're using your iExcels. Use this as a resource if you're doing the extra blue sheet for practice. This will be really helpful for you. And one last time, no, I do not expect you to memorize these. So you'll see I have customary on the left, I have metric on the right, and you're going to notice that those are kind of equal signs. They're squiggly. That means that those are about how much, okay? So an inch is about 2.54 or 2 and 54 centimeters, all right? So those are actually the numbers we're going to use. So let's go ahead and do a couple examples together. Number 1, I have inches and centimeters. So I'm going to compare inches, and I'm going to put that on the top, and I'm going to do centimeters, which is what I'm going to put on the bottom. So I'm starting with 17 and 22 hundredths inches, and I don't know how many centimeters that is. Okay? So I need to go to the top, and I'm looking for inches and centimeters, and those are the numbers I'm going to use. And it's all the way up on top. So 1 inch is about 2 and 54 hundredths centimeters. So 2 and 54 hundredths is going to go on the bottom because that's where we decided to put centimeters, right here. And 1 inch is going to go on the top. You're definitely going to need a calculator for today's lesson. So let's go ahead and cross multiply. X times 1. I love when this happens because that's just x. I don't need to worry about dividing. And then my multiplication problem is going to be 17 and 22 hundredths times 2 and 54 hundredths. And I get 43.738. Now look at our directions. It says round to the nearest tenth. So that means I need to look at my 3. The 3, 0 through 4, hit the floor, which means that 7 stays the same, and those go away. And so I have 43 and 7/10 centimeters. So again, we're just setting up proportions, cross multiplying, and dividing. All right, let's take a look at another one. Number 2, I'm comparing milliliters with cups. I'm starting with 828.5 milliliters, and I don't know how many cups that is. Remember, we're going to keep milliliters on the top and cups on the bottom. So let's go to the top and look for milliliters and cups. Here it is right here. Of course, it's really big numbers. So 1 cup is about 236 and 59 hundredths milliliters. So let's see, 236.59. 236.59 milliliters, because those go on the top, and 1 is going to go on the bottom. We are going to have to do some dividing on this one. So x times 236.59, so 236.59. X equals 1 times 828.5, which is just 828.5. All right, divide. We're going to divide 236.59. Aren't these numbers fun? 236.59. So I'm definitely going to need to use my calculator here. So let me go ahead and punch this in. So let's see, we got 828.5 divided by 236.59. Ooh, that is a really long number. So I get 3.501, okay? Remember, we're rounding to the nearest tenth, so I look at that 0. 0 through 4 hit the floor, so it means I round down. The 5 stays there, and I have about 3.5 cups. All right, so I know that the numbers are gross, but as long as we're staying organized when we're setting up, we should know how to set it up. We should know how to cross multiply and divide. As long as you have a calculator, you should be good to go. All right, last problem together. This time I am comparing meters and feet. So I got meters on the top, feet on the bottom. I've got 50 meters is I don't know how many feet. Now I need to go ahead and look for a conversion factor, making sure we keep meters on the top and making sure that we keep feet on the bottom. So let's go ahead and look for that. So I'm looking for meters and feet. Meters and feet. Here it is right here. So 1 foot is about 0.3 meters. So 1 foot, feet go on the bottom, 0.3 goes on the top. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to cross multiply. X times 0.3 or 3/10. This is 0.3x. And 1 times 50 is of course 50. And I now need to divide by 0.3 on both sides. Those go away. And x equals 166.666. Okay, rounding to the nearest tenth, we look at that 6. 5 through 9 make the climb, which means that this actually changes to a 7. And what is my label here? We're looking for feet. So I have 166 and 7/10 feet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today. It should have been pretty quick. I know that the numbers look gross. You're going to have to use a calculator, but it's really no different than what we've done like the last 3 or 4 lessons in a row, where you're setting up a proportion, making sure that it stays nice and neat and organized. So whatever label you put on the top needs to stay on the top. Whatever label you put on the bottom, you need to keep on the bottom. You have one IXL to do. I think, if I remember right, it gives you all of the conversion factors. So it tells you things like 1 cup is 236.59 meters. It tells you that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. If it doesn't, use this sheet. It will help you. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me a message on Schoology. Tomorrow we will have a lesson quiz to end our week. Bye, guys. Peace.